Welcome, I'm Rogers Anderson, Williamson County's mayor, and today we have our Chief of Staff, Diane Giddens, with us, and we are so appreciative of her being with us today. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.
So today, we're not talking about government. We're talking about a 501c3 entity that we refer to as the Williamson County Fair that starts in August 4th, the actual starting day. It'll run 9 days and be over by the 12th. It's hot. It's become quite an event for our county each and every year that you and many others started how many years ago?
This is our 13th year.
Lucky number 13.
Lucky number 13.
A lot of changes going on, but let's go back a little bit and talk about those early days of the fair. There were several people that gathered together and trying to come up with an idea, and we really were trying to start with agritourism and showcase our new ag center. At that time, been open a couple, 2 or 3 years, and out of that came this idea: let's just do a countywide fair.
It did, and that was, I think, actually the brainchild of several folks sitting around the table talking, and I think you had this hairball idea to start a county fair, and it has been quite the success, and we're very excited that we have a lot of people that have bought into it and spend their time volunteering to make it a success.
There's no question to put on a 9-day fair. We've got one of the most dedicated group of men and women and children that participate and have participated, and there's that core group that have been doing the fair every single year, no pay, just volunteering. And if I remember correctly, the 2016 fair had well over 1,000 people volunteer. Probably, do you remember?
We're encroaching on 2,000 volunteers at this point.
So what an amazing feat, and of course you can't do it without the men and women, from little ones farming to just working the gates, the volunteers, the school groups involved. And when you think of the magnitude and the cost of the fair, which has to stand on its own 2 feet,
right,
it's our sponsorships, and we say thank you to them.
Right. We've had several companies in the community that have moved to Williamson County in recent years that have been supporters since day one, with Nissan, who provides our free parking, and Tractor Supply Company, who sponsors the livestock area.
Many businesses, both large and small, have made this a success. And number 13, each year we have a different theme. Each year we try to showcase, we get the board together, or a group of the board together, and try to come up with a central theme that we can base our entire fair off from. And this year's theme
is Country Pride Countywide. So we're focusing on Americana as a nation, and then country for the farming country. So we are Country Pride Countywide, and very excited to showcase what all of that means.
When you think about Country Pride County-wide, which is kind of a tongue twister.
It is.
But it can cover so many things, and we're making some changes in the fair. It was kind of that period of time, first 10 or 12 years, pretty much everything stayed in the same order, and that made it good for planning. But over the years, we began to people have been asked, well, what are we going to do next year? What are we going to do next year? So kind of take from a snapshot of the changes that we could expect this year and some of the acts.
Some of the new changes we have is that in place of the main stage down on the arena floor, we will have a 4-H and youth village that Berry Farms is providing for us this year, and what that will feature will be numerous hands-on activities dealing with science, technology, and electronics that the Ag Extension folks are spearheading. So there will be a lot of hands-on interactive exhibits, and it will also feature the competitive events for the 4-H children. One of the things that we're excited about this year is in the catalog, you will find all of the competitive events, but new this year is that you can enter online. So we have less catalogs to distribute throughout the various locations in the county, and so we're encouraging people to enter online. Another change is that the pageants are not going to take place at the fairgrounds. They're going to be at a new location at the Performing Arts Center at Academy Park. So that's a new change, and we're excited to see how that works. That will be a new venue for the pageant contestants that I think they're going to love and appreciate. It's much more conducive to a pageant with the dressing rooms and all of the lights and the cameras and the action that they have there.
So Diane, kind of let the folks know where Academy Park is. They may not be familiar with that name, and then the days of the events, if you happen to know it, if they're interested.
The Academy Park is the old BGA campus off Columbia Avenue, kind of surrounded by Everbright and Granbury Streets. The pageants will take place on Sunday, which will be August the 6th.
So if you're watching this show and you got someone that's interested in that, the easiest way to go to that is our website,
which is williamsoncountyfair.org. The competitive catalog is on there, and you can, all of the entry sheets are on there. You can download it and sign up, or you can just log in and sign up online.
And for those that are here today, we're kind of showcasing, this has been out a couple of days, our premium catalog. Talk a little bit about the premium catalog, and what's the purpose of the premium catalog?
Well, the purpose is to let folks see all of the different competitive events that they can enter that showcases their talents, whether it's canning fruits and vegetables or growing fruits and vegetables, whether it's photography or arts and crafts or sewing. There are so many ways that they can get involved in the fair and win a blue ribbon, a red ribbon, a white ribbon, and a little bit of cash money.
I encourage everyone that has had an opportunity to participate in the fair to redo it. But for you that are first timers, and if you're a gardener and you've raised that prize tomato that you think is the prize tomato, then go to the catalog or go online, figure out the time and the date, and let it be judged. And that's not just large farmers, and
right.
It's oftentimes in our community, it's just backyard growers.
Right.
One of the things that I always look so forward to every year to involving the fair, one simple element is our quilt area. In our, I guess I kind of grew up with a mom and a grandmom that did the quilting, and I love that part of it. And it's every year our quilts just grow.
They are beautiful. It certainly is a talent that folks are not passing on from generation to generation, it seems, anymore. But the Culinary and Creative Arts Room, spearheaded in the past by Beth DiMaggio. This is going to be her last year, so we want to thank her for her service, and we'll be having a new chairman for that. But the quilt room certainly is showcases a lot of sewing talent. And then every year they have a little package that you can pick up, and you will quilt your own little square, and then a group gets together and puts those squares together to put together a quilt that we will raffle off at the fair. And so last year's quilt will be raffled off on the last Saturday of the fair, and we will just draw from a bucket of entries. And so we hope folks will come out and look at that. It's on display in the Creative Arts Room, and buy a ticket and a chance to win that.
We also have a division that we see the popularity of that just growing every year, and that's in our down on the main floor, the arena floor, our arts, our paintings. It's just incredible how that side of the fair has grown. from the very first year that we had it.
Yes, it is. We've
Ronnie
got
does a
some
great job.
beautiful artwork and photography exhibits down there, and it's a very nice thing. You can walk through at your leisure and look to see who has the blue ribbons, and sometimes folks end up selling their artwork.
Little Ones Farming is probably the one that over the first 12 fairs, the conversation seems to focus on more when you talk about the ag side.
Absolutely. The Little Ones Farming exhibit is our signature event that Sherry Sanders is and her mom, Cherry Jackson, are the chairs of that, and they get hundreds of volunteers to put that together so that little ones can begin a day on the farm, walk through the interactive exhibit, see what a day in the life of a farmer is like, pick up all of their things as though they are harvesting them, and then take them to market and sell them, get their little play money, and go to the general store and buy some ice cream or milk and head on out to the back porch and enjoy it.
Our sponsorships for that have traditionally been hanging right in there with them is the co-op, Williamson Co-op, and
the Farm Bureau.
Farm Bureau, excuse me. And
Purity.
Do an outstanding job.
Absolutely.
Of supporting that activity, and we thank both of those sponsors. And then when the children walk out, they can just dump right into a large area looking at chickens and rabbits and large animals and small animals.
The co-op, our local co-op, has been sponsoring the children's barnyard since day one, and that is another opportunity for kids to see up close and personal the various farm animals, and the birthing pig exhibit, which we have each year. We have a mama pig give birth to some little piglets that they can go out and look and see and smell the farm, but we've got some of the non-traditional farm animals as well. The alpacas have really taken off, and we've got miniature sheep and miniature goats, and of course then they've got all the livestock competitions. And on Monday night we invite folks to come out to the 4-H livestock show and sale that will take place in the Manera Arena on Monday evening.
So you mentioned the 4-H. Matt and his crew out at the University of Tennessee Ag Extension that are housed out on the Ag Center all year long. There are offices, and if your crops, you want to check about what kind of fertilizer or what you should do for your soils to improve it, or if you've got a disease with a plant, an apple tree that's got some blights on it or something, you can take it out there and have it evaluated so you can find a solution to your problem. But it's just incredible in the fast growth that we have here in Williamson County. We're one of the fastest growing counties across the state. And of course, I know you know, and most people around, we're trying to find solutions for our schools. But our 4-H continues to just grow and shine, and we are so thankful for that.
Absolutely. They have some wonderful 4-H agents with a lot of new, innovative, creative ideas. In fact, Chelsea McMahon has added a couple of new competitive exhibits to the catalog this year. And one of the things she's going to showcase is a poultry hatching exhibit. So we'll have an online video viewing of the chicken hatching process. And then I think she also has a farm eggs contest. So I want to encourage folks to browse this catalog, make sure that they look through it cover to cover, because you'll find something that you can enter and have bragging rights for your blue ribbon.
Of course, the cattle and the sheep, the evaluations, the blue ribbons, you kind of touched on that, but my goodness, our cattle show and our sheep show are some of the largest in the state now.
Right, and I don't have those exact numbers. Hopefully we'll be able to get Matt on your show soon to talk more about the livestock and the agricultural side of our fair.
So the mainstay, we built our fair around the ag side and educational side, but certainly it's important to point out that many people that attend our fair are pushing those strollers, little kids in hand. Lots of security is, in this time and the day we live in today, security is still a very mainstay of our fair. We've got the sheriff's department and their men and women out there patrolling the grounds. We've got the emergency management folks from over around the hospital. They're there on their bicycles, they're there on feet, just in case we get some heat strokes or we stump a toe.
Have a few of those.
We do have a few of those. But then one of the things that I know that he's dear to your heart, the organization is, and he is to mine. He's been with us since day one, actually before day one. He helped kind of craft and design some of the fair and some of the ideas is Jimmy Drew.
Right. Jimmy Drew is the owner of our Midway, and he works with us every year. And as you indicated in the early days, since none of us had a clue about the behind-the-scenes operations and how to produce a county fair, he was there to welcome us with open arms and give us great ideas about what it would take to make our, not just the Midway a success, but the entire fairgrounds. And this year, in partnership with Jimmy, he's bringing a high dive act to our fair.
Are you going to get on that board?
I'm thinking seriously about it because, you know, one of them is a fire high dive act. So I'm always running like I'm on fire, so I figured that'd be a good chance for me to cool off. Also, going back to the emergency management and our police folks that are on the ground, our public safety staff is bringing a fireman's challenge show to the fair this year, and what they will do is demonstrate an extrication of a fireman responding to someone trapped in a wrecked vehicle. So that'll be a nightly show and give our fair visitors and our residents an opportunity to see just what kind of training and professionals our firemen are, both the city fire departments and then the county rescue squads. A lot of people don't realize that our county in the rural areas is served by strictly volunteer fire departments. And though they do it as a volunteer, they put in so much time and training and having the exact skills to know how to react to different situations. So this will happen out on the Fair Village as well.
And I think it would be given a shout out because those are the men and women that are behind the scenes that are working really 24 hours, many of them. Different crews coming in that are providing that peace of mind, that security, because it is important that we have an event that's safe, have an event that we take great pride in presenting, an event that is safe for the folks to get on and off. We work with Jimmy Drew. He will have his rides inspected, not once, but twice. And then each day, he actually brings in a person out of a different state that oversees, checks the rides out, be sure they're scotched down, they're tied down, they're operating efficiently, because I know that's a concern of parents. And it's a concern of us that we have good, safe rides. And a little knock on wood, we're very fortunate so far in the first 12 years. Oh, we've had the stump toes and we've had the heat problems that we may have. But overall, we've been very fortunate.
Absolutely.
And a lot of that is the risk management procedures that we have not only with Jimmy, but we also have in our own facility. And then, of course, you've got all the men and women that are in what we call the green room, looking at the weather conditions, being sure that through the camera's eyes, through the taping of the fairgrounds, monitoring it, watching for undesirable people doing things wrong at the fair. Our fair has repeatedly said, and we no exception this year, no alcohol is allowed on the grounds. Now, every now and then we know there's probably somebody that will sneak something in, but we kind of let them pay first and then catch them and then ask them to leave, so we'll at least get their money.
There you go.
If we can catch them. But We do not sell it. We do not promote that activity, and I know many fairs do, but we've kind of decided on day one that this fair was going to be wholesome and friendly and fun for the entire family, for the moms and the dads. They could bring their children, and in my case, bring the grandkids out so they could spend some time with them. I remember back thinking of those days and those early days when your girls were younger, and of course they're out of school, out of college now, and both employed,
Yes.
helping you
That's
and
a
Don.
good
That's a
thing.
good thing for
That's
you
a
and
good
Don.
thing.
But I remember in those early days they would have their parties, their activities, and maybe not a birthday party,
Oh, yes.
but we've had them out there, and they bring their friends out, and we're seeing that after 12 years, many people are putting that on their calendar the first Friday in August, and that's the day that they're going to the fair. It's usually a few days before school opens up. It's a time for the children to get back together, but we have many parents that feel that they're comfortable with letting their boys or girls or both come out to the fair and have a party.
My youngest daughter has a birthday that sometimes falls during the fair. So, as you indicated, in those early days, they kind of grew up on the fairgrounds with their unofficial last party of the summer before school started at the fairgrounds. So, yes, she has had a birthday party or two out there, and they've kind of grown past that. But I feel like at some point in their lives, when we get new volunteers to take my place, hint,
Our place.
hint, hint.
Our place.
We're always looking for volunteers to take leading roles, but anyway, I think that they will want to come back and share their memories with their families. It's certainly something that they have fond memories about. One thing I want to focus on before we run out of time is we had, in going along with our Country Pride county-wide theme, this year we're featuring a Veterans Memorial. And what that will consist of is there is a post 9/11 memorial that travels. There's a national one and there's a state one. And so through the state of Tennessee arm of that organization, we will have an exhibit that will have photographs of anyone in the state of Tennessee who has passed post 9/11 while serving in our country. And so next door to that, we will feature Williamson County veterans who were living in Williamson County during the time of their service. And so we had asked people to submit their names to our email, and we will feature a wall that has those names. And we know that they're not a collection of everyone because some folks just didn't get the word, but it's our way of saying thank you and carrying on that country pride and our county pride for those men and women who have served our country. And I say thanks to you because your name won't be on the wall because you weren't a Williamson County resident at that time, and some folks won't understand that, but that was kind of the parameters that we set for the beginning of this display. It's still being organized. We're still trying to make sure that we do it in a way that is pays tribute with the utmost respect. So I'm looking forward to see how that's perceived and how folks will appreciate that. And then also down on the floor this year we have over 9,000 square feet of a wild science exhibit, which will be ongoing throughout the arena operating hours, and it will all be hands-on displays where children can come in and do different types of science exhibits, and we're looking forward to having that because it gives the kids something to do besides, a lot of the kids aren't quite old enough or tall enough to ride the rides, and they want something new to do. So between the 4-H youth and 4-H and youth village exhibit and the wild science exhibit, I think there will be lots of things for little ones to do.
And that's kind of in the very beginning of our show. We were talking about some changes made over the years. Slowly but surely, we've introduced different items, things, acts down on the floor. And so this is our way of kind of shaking the rug a little bit and seeing what other items we can get down there. We know without a question that there are many, many children that are going to want to participate. In years gone past, we've had smaller events where they go down there and they'll stay hours, where there is drawing. I know a couple of years we tried the Legos.
And Legos will be in the 4-H and youth exhibit as well.
And some fairs, in some areas, Legos is a huge event.
It is a huge event.
It just doesn't seem to garnish as much activity, but yet it's large enough that we continue to do it. We've had arm wrestling. We've had a little bit of everything out there. About the only thing we haven't had is the wrestling events themselves. A lot of people ask us, why don't you do some kind of demolition car? And there's two reasons for that. Number one is we've used in the inside of the activities for all the things we've got going. Number two is we don't have another area, but more important above number one and number two, we kind of made a commitment in those early days when we did the Ag Center that we would not be doing car and motorcycle events inside the arena, mainly because of the common courtesy to the neighbors, and we've held true to that. So we got about a minute and a half left. Let's kind of wrap up. The fair is August 4th through the 12th. Ribbon cutting will be around 5 o'clock on Friday evening. We're looking for hopefully good weather. Come on out.
We do have air conditioning.
And we have air conditioning.
And it's under roof.
And
so
it's under roof.
No matter the weather, you can still come to the fair, have a great time, be cool and be dry.
So the fair starts August the 4th. We'll open up that evening around 5. The actual fair will start have activities and rides and things around 6 o'clock and go on to about 10 o'clock at night, and the rides stay open much later than that.
We're not open during the day because, as we indicated earlier, we are staffed with volunteers. So weekdays we don't open until 6 p.m., but 9 Days of Fun starts the first Friday in August.
That's exactly right, and we'll be glad that it starts and just as glad when it finishes. Thank you, Diane, for all the hard work you do, and the many others, people behind the scenes, Terry, and so many, many others for making this fair what it is today. We got to go. I'm Roger Sanderson. We'll see you around the county the next time.
See these hands? They grip the wheel of a Humvee in Afghanistan.
12 years. Flying choppers.
My hands? They're here for the person who fought in Afghanistan. I made the call and got support for my sister.
Mine take care of the person who flew those helicopters And if life gets overwhelming, they're ready to dial the Veterans Crisis Line.
Confidential help is just a call, click, or text away.